Yeah, open topics with Don Armando. Yo, good evening. I'm your host of Open Topics, Don Armando, and every Wednesday we're going to have a segment dedicated to the martial arts and to martial artists. So last week I had two martial arts experts and two military veterans on my panel. So hopefully tonight we could actually try to talk about something different, which is actually pertaining to the martial arts. So, last topic was how to flush out the Mac dojos in the United States. What I want to actually talk about this time is the difference in training as from the United States, Asia, Europe, and Africa. Because everybody learns the martial arts, but certain people they might learn it harder than others. So I just want to actually discuss the methodology with martial arts experts because martial arts have different methods. Some might be considered harsh. Certain people could say that it's neat. So I'm just gonna wait for whoever wants to show up so we could actually talk about the teaching methodology that goes into the martial arts. Yeah. So I'll just wait for any other guest that's going to come through so we could actually talk about the martial arts. What's up, Irby? How you doing? All right. So I was supposed to have a guest, but I guess they couldn't make it because of other stuff that happened. So I'm just going to try to hold down the show myself. So I got a I got like a burning question, and for all those who are watching, it actually pertains to the issue at hand or the controversy at hand. So I have a theory, right? And this is just a theory that I'm just throwing out there. If Cassie Fine, Ventura Fine, right? If she were to learn the martial arts, would you think that that would have prevented the abuse that she suffered from the Diddler, or Diddler might have found some way or somehow to actually subjugate that young woman? So my thing is that I'm asking everybody, even though this is the martial arts show, but I'm just contemplating if Cassie actually learned the martial arts, would have would the outcome would have been different for her or any of Diddler's victims if they would have learned the martial arts? How they would fare? So for anybody who's watching or whosoever wants to comment, feel free to. This is open topics, the martial arts edition. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Well, we're talking about both actually, Herbie, because I know that one who actually learned the martial arts, it could actually give a person mental empowerment, but physical, I guess not, because I guess in genetically men are stronger than women. So I would not I would not say in that aspect, but I'm just saying as the part of her defending herself, I think, and if she would have learned the martial arts, I think it would have been a different story than how we have it now. Maybe with that she might have made Dittmer respect her more instead of this sad outcome. Right. Because let's be honest, a lot of these rappers have been in a lot of domestic abuse incidences. For example, you have Fabulous, who was actually raging against his, I guess it's his current or ex girlfriend, and he showed it on video, right? Allegedly, the rapper Joel Santana went and was involved in a domestic dispute. So with his ex-wife Bella, and 9 times, and it was over, as you know it, when she used to date Fabulous. That's one other thing. Um, who else have been in domestic or alleged domestic abuse? The rapper Mac 10. Now, certain people could say whatever, but he and T Boss during their tenure while they were married, they were actually involved in a domestic dispute, and I guess that was one of the causes for their marriage to break down. As you know, it like around 2008, 2009, when that incident with Rihanna and Chris Brown happened. So even though that Chris Brown has an illustrious career, at certain levels, that incident alone just have made him a pariah in certain circles. What else? So my thing is this: all the I think, and if I was president of the United States of America, I would like to. I would have made it mandatory for all domestic abuse victims to actually learn the martial arts, so therefore they could actually get their confidence levels back, and at the same time to push back from would be or from serial abusers. Right. I mean, technically, if you actually look at it, Bruce Lee, and I'm not going to put the whole credit to Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee actually helped popularize the martial arts in the United States during the 1960s and early 1970s. So he cannot really take full credit because you had the people that actually made Kempo karate and Kaju Kempo also because from what I've heard, and I guess when it comes to American karate styles, which most of those styles were actually made in Hawaii, I knew that it was like I guess it was under Jamie Toast, but I do know that between it was like three masters. I guess one was karate, the other one was kung fu. I guess Chan Fist Kung Fu, and the other one was a scream or something. So so while they were there in a Y, they actually combined those styles and what we would know as Kajukembo, or I guess the other form of Tempo Karate. So I'll just have to do my research on this. Just 1 second. So, Jame Toast was a Japanese American martial artist who was actually born in Hawaii on December 30th, 1916, and he passed away at the age of 64 in Folsom, California. So, his martial arts of expertise was Kenpo, Jiu-Jitsu, and Kosho Shorei Ryu Kenpo. So, the other martial arts that I was talking about, which is Kaju Kempo, the parenthood of that martial arts is Karaho Kempo, Danzan Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Tang Sudo, Shotokan Karate, and Arnis, and Yin Kung Fu. So, I guess all those styles, which is considered one of the first hybrid martial arts, when you actually look at the definition, I would guess that when I was actually talking to my cousin, he was trying to tell me that most of these UFC fighters would actually beat Bruce Lee because of the combinations of styles that they know. But what my cousin did not know is that, and this could be maybe a far reach, but when you actually talk about the origins of mixed martial arts, if Bruce Lee would be alive, I think he would have been a well-rounded fighter than a lot of these guys. The reason why is because his whole life was actually mixed martial arts. Now, from my recollection and from documentaries that I have seen, right? Everybody in the West, hey, what's up, Westies? So everybody in the West. Now, I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not the expert. I'm just telling you of what I have personally read or documentaries that I have seen that that at first technically his original style would have been Tai Chi because his father was a Tai Chi expert, but then while he was in Hong Kong, he learned the art of Wing Chun. Now, with that said, while he learned Wing Chun, I guess um, Ip Man went up and taught him privately because of his mixed heritage. So when Bruce Lee actually came to America and he wanted to teach his style, whatever, and you know how the story goes. But what a lot of people don't understand is when he actually made his own martial arts, which is Jeet Kune Do, right? It had a lot of different elements of the martial arts, but it was actually his way and his philosophy on how he wanted to teach the martial arts. So, with that said, when he came to the United States, allegedly, I'm saying allegedly of what I'm going to say next, that he was allegedly a student of Eagle Claw Kung Fu. The way that he, another way is that I've also heard that that he actually learned judo on the side too, and boxing, and American boxing. I've also heard that he might have, quote, maybe or maybe not trained in karate also, and I guess it was under Fumio Demura allegedly. Because if you actually look at the movie Enter the Dragon, where he actually flips the nunchuck, a lot of people did not know what a nunchaku was until Enter the Dragon came. So certain people will actually think that the nunchaku will attribute the nunchaku to Bruce Lee because he was the first one that actually showed its use in cinema. When the fact is that the nunchaku is actually, or the nunchucks, how we call them, is actually an Okinawan weapon, which was used in the Ryukyuan kingdom before the Japanese took over. And it was the Ryukyuan language before Japan took it over and made it the official name, Japanese the official language. So I've actually heard in certain movies and technically a lot of martial arts experts that karate is actually and a lot of people could actually say this, is actually the Japanese version handed, or the Okinawan version, which is handed down from like maybe, I'll say in the crux of when you had Chinese missionaries bringing Buddhism to Japan. So between that or in Okinawa, so between I guess that spectrum, the Chinese that actually called karate Tang's fist because during the Tang Dynasty, you had a lot of trade between what is known now as Japan, Okinawa, and China. So with trade and everything like that, and literature, because in China that's where Chan or Zen Buddhism actually started. So when you had a lot of Zen Buddhist teachers coming from China to Japan, I guess that intermix of martial arts also actually came to Okinawa, and maybe I'm just saying this is a far reach. Certain styles, which is in Japan right now, because a lot of people have said that judo or jujitsu, how we know it, was actually a samurai style. So the way that we actually see judo right now was not really the case in the samurai times, because if a samurai was actually just armed or something like that, his whole purpose when he was doing judo or jujitsu was not to go around and just throw the guy off. From what I've heard and from experts that I've heard this from, is that the whole point of judo was to actually disarm and make sure that you maim your attacker. Because if they were going to come at you with a sword or whatsoever, you have to make sure that you break their arm and cause as much pain as possible, so therefore they will not hurt you. I mean, UFC is subjective, and I'm going to say this because you have certain people who actually go through the MMA schools now, and they actually learn like different style of martial arts. But the problem with that is that it becomes so saturated that okay, you could go to a school and you learn the mixed martial arts. Yeah, got your you got your level of mixed martial arts, right? The problem with that is that since you have a whole bunch of styles which is actually coming into it, right? So basically in the MMA, you have like the three biggest martial arts if you may have you. Or I mean from what I've seen is that you see people who actually are brawlers. You have certain people who are just focused who are actually good kickers because they actually learn Muay Thai. And then is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So yeah, so within those cores, they actually they actually think that Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is more effective. Then you have Muay Thai, and I guess you could put karate or kung fu within the mix because sometimes the most successful UFC fighters actually have a solid martial arts background, as if you're a newbie fighter and you have to go around and train with all these martial arts. But then sometimes when somebody say that they're MMA and they mix up all these styles, the problem is that if you say like, okay, I want to follow in one style, right? Let's just say that I want to be in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So for anybody that's going to do Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and actually go within the rank system and everything like that, I guess if you're going to get a black belt, is not only that I think you're going to get a black belt, but you have to go with either of these families to make sure that they're legit. And I'm telling you, you have the Machados and you have the Gracies, since they have a whole federation of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now, I don't know about any other martial arts, but I know that most of the Brazilian martial arts schools, if they're actually going to teach Brazilian martial arts, they'll actually have to make sure that their schools is Gracie or Machado approved. Because at first it was the Gracies and then the Machados, which I guess it was like I guess their family or intermarried or something like that in Brazil. The Machado um family actually learned from the Gracie family. So therefore either they're Machado certified or it's Gracie certified when it comes to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now, regular jiu-jitsu, I guess if you want to actually get your certifications and or other belts, I guess you will have to make sure that you're sanctioned in Japan also to actually learn. But that's from what I've talked to other martial arts experts about. Irby, what you doing for Memorial Day, bro?